Hey guys, thank you very much for coming to visit my channel again, My Producer Journey. I'm Naresh and I'm here to talk about my ideas on goal setting. So this is the third video in my series of videos that I'm doing. I'm new to YouTube, I'm new to this channel, and thank you very much for coming to visit to just show even that support. I very much appreciate this. So guys, I'm not going to keep this really in depth. I'm just going to skim over something that's quite important to me, and that is goal setting and the way in which we goal set. So without further ado, one of the things that I think that we need to begin with when doing this is starting with our dreams. We all have dreams, we all have aspirations in life that we want to achieve something, and so I think it's important to start at that point of the journey, to then put down pen to paper and think about those dreams. Put them down, write them out, think about them, mull over them for a little while, and see if, is there more to the dream? Maybe even question whether the dream is still a dream. Something we've had maybe from a childhood has disappeared, and the circumstances have changed. Perhaps maybe it's the reverse, and that actually a childhood dream hasn't been realized, and it's something that you still want to do and you still can do. So start there is where I would suggest the dream. The next stage is a little bit more focused now. Now we're thinking a bit more 3 to 5 years. This is the vision. Now the vision is very much about linked to the dream, but it's about what can I do to meet those dreams or components of those dreams in the next 3 to 5 years. So this is really a strategic thinking now, I guess, into what it is that you can do to feed into that dream. Small incremental steps will feed into them, but which is something we generally focus on day to day, but unless they're tied to a vision, they're not going to bear the fruit and realize the dream. So 3 to 5 years, setting up the vision takes you then on to the next stage, which is then the goal setting. These are the goals, this is the things that will generally result based. They will have stats and numbers that are within the definition of that goal. Ultimately they're measurable. These are goals that will then be something that will last over a period of a year. And thinking of my corporate time, this is something that we used to do every year as well. They would then slowly add up to the vision of then promotion and pay rises. So if, for example, you wanted to move to a manager position, that would be your vision. You would then have goals that would then set up over a year or 2 or 3 years that would then lead you to meeting that goal of becoming a manager. That manager role might have a bigger vision in terms of being the CEO of a company, and that might be the dream. But going back to the goal settings, these are shorter, result-based, measurable goals that you can achieve over a year. Now, the next thing down from that then is outcomes, and these outcomes are even another smaller component. So these are outcomes that you want to achieve over every quarter. So every 12 weeks, every 3 months, you will want to try and achieve an outcome that will feed into the goal. Now this outcome will have a project based into it. So you may have 3 or 4 projects that will then individually have components of tasks and activities that you will do daily to try and achieve that outcome by the end of the year. So let me give you an example from my own. So daily habit is, or a daily activity is, to write some music. Now I'm writing music with the outcome of every quarter to produce 6 tracks. So I'll have a project, 6 projects that are trying to generate 6 outcomes of 6 tracks, and these 6 tracks will then feed into the overarching goal for the year, which is maybe to produce an album. And I will pick something out of the year that I thought that are worth going on the album and then release them. And over the year that then generates into the vision of moving as a beginner to a more of a amateur experienced producer over 3 to 5 years, and maybe at some point in that year I may move to a professional status, where the dream is then to become totally independent and financially and professionally producing music and within the whole ecosystem. So that is the idea here, that we have a framework. So again, starting from the bottom this time, we have starting at tasks and activity levels that we do daily. These will then feed into a project. A project will have defined time and structures and resources that will then deliver on an outcome every quarter. This outcome that are set every quarter, there'll be 4 of them, will then feed into the goal. The goal is something that is 12 months in duration, and the end of that goal will be feeding into the vision. The vision is 3 to 5 years, and that vision that's 3 to 5 years will be feeding into the dream, the ultimate dream that you're trying to achieve. And this is something that is a hierarchy that is something that we use in the corporate world, something we probably use day to day even without knowing it, from problem solving on a sort of a micro level. So it's not something that's completely unfamiliar and out there. It's just it's a framework, and in subsequent videos I will go into a little more in depth into each of those areas, and I will be trying to implement them as well in my own life here and producing and my experience as I develop, and sharing with you how they go. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Drop the comments at the below. If you like what you're hearing and you want to kind of continue or know more, click on the subscribe and the alert bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much, guys. Goodbye.